This QR code that I'm peeling off, I found it on a parking payment terminal in Paris. It was put here by a scammer. QR code scams like this are called Quishing. And we're going to discover 6 different real-life examples in this video. You're probably already used to online scams that happen through email or SMS, but much less used to scams that use things like this. The problem with QR codes is that nowadays you find them everywhere. On a restaurant table to order and pay your bill, on a letter you receive in your mailbox. Have you considered it might come from someone trying to steal your accounts or bank card? We'll discover and test this together before I show you real-life examples I found. You need to quickly understand how it works and why it's such a sneaky system. I'm not telling you anything new. A QR code is a way to encode information, like a website URL, into an image that you can print, and it allows you to retrieve that information in 2 seconds by scanning it with a phone. When you think about it, it's very convenient, but the problem is that you don't know which site will open before you've scanned it. It's not like an email or a text message where you can analyze the sender or the URLs and quickly see if it's an official site or not before clicking. That's a problem, but it's not the worst one. This scam has victims partly because it happens offline too. Online, we're used to scams and have protections like spam filters and antivirus, but this is where it really begins. In the real world, we completely let our guard down. For example, when you see a metal parking meter installed by the city, you instinctively trust it's official and secure. You trust it, not thinking a hacker might have tampered with it. Plus, we're often rushed and just want to pay for parking quickly to avoid missing an appointment. Or even for food lovers, we want to quickly order our pizza because we're hungry. We're less on guard in those moments. Now, what happens if we still scan one of those QR codes? Are we trapped? I'll show you the hacker's method just to make you aware and avoid the trap. Disclaimer, but obviously, reproducing this kind of scam is illegal. You risk up to 5 years in prison and a €375,000 fine or more. If the place also turns against you, it's a scam that the authorities are aware of. I was even surprised that there was an official page about it on the government website. Basically, a scammer is going to set a trap. First, they'll target a specific spot, such as a restaurant or parking lot. For example, the Iowan Bistro in the 15th district. He'll code a website that perfectly copies the payment page for that place, using the same logos, colors, and images, but with something extra added. He'll set it up so your information goes to 2 spots in his database. He wants to reuse your credit card, that's what he's after. But also to the real original site, which he'll redirect you to afterwards. That way, you'll actually get what you paid for so that neither you nor the place realize the trickery. Copying a site to scam people is called phishing, but now there's something new, quishing. When the hacker encodes this site in a QR code, prints it and posts it in real life, I admit they didn't get creative with the name, but how does it appear in real scams? To make it more concrete, I really wanted to find real scammer QR codes in Paris, and I did find some, but it wasn't easy. I don't want to sound alarmist. To be honest, actually, it's not a very widespread scam yet, which isn't very widespread yet, and while on the internet, you can move from one site to another in a fraction of a second. In Paris, you have to go from shop to shop. That's why I asked for your help by posting a form on my Discord, and thanks to your responses, I was able to find some. There are 2 that I was able to try myself, and 4 that I was able to reconstruct thanks to your photos. You'll see, it's really interesting because each time they use completely different mechanics. To make this video, I literally spent an entire day in Paris looking for elements that might have traps, like for example the parking meters. Those street terminals let you pay for parking. In Paris it's simple, almost all spots are paid, so terminals are everywhere. I checked a lot of them, and just when I was about to give up, oh that bastard, he's disgusting. But yeah, no. If it took me more than 4 hours to finally find one, I was starting to lose hope, and that's why I'm starting the video with this one. It's really perfect. The next ones, I admit that without the help of the subscribers, I would have really struggled. As you can see, this scam, it leverages the Pay by Phone app, which is widely available across Europe and works officially with cities, to allow people to pay for their parking directly with their phone without having to walk to the parking meter. That's why on parking meters, there's always an official sign promoting this app, but well, you can see the catch coming, right? If you stick a QR code here, obviously people will want to scan it to download the app faster, but if it's not the real QR code, well, let's see together what happens. Let's test the one I found. So, I don't have a driver's license, so I don't know exactly how this works, normally. I've never done this, but I think, well, they really recreated the official app for entering your parking number. The only difference, well, is that here it's a website, not an app, and the URL, well, it's really weird, it's not an official URL at all. Normally, that's the information that should tip you off that it's a fake. And just imagine how many people don't pay attention. Sometimes, even the URL seems credible. Now, you understand the concept. Just remember, in these cases, check for a double layer by running your finger over it. If you scan it, still check the URL on your phone. Remember, there are other smart methods like this too. I couldn't find the second scam in real life, so I recreated it to show you. This is the only one in the video without direct testimony from a subscriber. I'm actually basing this on an article published by Capital, which shows that it happened in Paris. This document I have in my hands is a ticket, as we say, or rather, a fake ticket, as you might have guessed. Normally, you find it on your car's windshield when you've committed an infraction. It's like being parked illegally. You know you've been checked and that a fine is on the way. The ticket looks just like a real one, with the French Republic header, colors, and logos. Officially, the notice of violation number may be missing, which makes sense, but this part shouldn't be here. It invites us to pay the €35 fine right away before it goes up to €135 in 2 days. The idea is to stress you out so you completely drop your guard. That's very typical in online scams. They give you a clearly fake QR code asking you to enter your license plate to pay online. As I mentioned, I recreated the trap entirely. Scanning it leads to a site I made that looks official. Clearly, I did this only to get footage for the video. I deleted that site right after, and well, there you go. It has a form to enter your license plate, your personal information, and of course your credit card, and if I click on pay, I didn't bother too much. I get all the raw info from Root, my channel's mascot, in a Discord DM. Always trust Root, right? Nobody dares talk to him, but I know you're good people and have never gotten a fine. Also, spoiler. Usually, fine payment instructions are mailed to you. You'll never find a QR code on your windshield. In this scam, we use stress, but in the next one, you'll see it's the opposite. Well, while I was in Paris, there's a second thing I tried to look into. The Vélibs, the self-service bikes in Paris. Often you'll see QR codes on them, but usually they're just ads for Spotify or Snap accounts. I wish I'd found what this guy found in other countries. Apparently, you can find QR codes on bikes that encourage people to pay to lock the Vélib. Well, on the Vélibs, that was less likely, because the only natural QR code is this one, which lets you report an abandoned Vélib and, if needed, investigate. I asked Smooth & Go, the company managing the Vélibs, if they've had this issue. If I get a reply, here's their official response. Meanwhile, I have one final real example I found. Here's an example from my own experience. This letter actually inspired me to make this video and investigate. I got it in my mailbox 4 years ago. I'll show some reenactment shots. Although the letter dates back to when it happened, I kept it. Later, I found an official looking letter in my mailbox with an APHP stamp. It actually comes from Assistance Publique, Hôpitaux de Paris, which manages Paris hospitals. Getting something like that puts a bit of pressure on you. When I opened it, I found a well-made document on thick paper. All of this basically explains to me that I still have €25 left to pay, following a previous appointment. And of course, there's a QR code inviting us to pay right now online to settle the situation. The website doesn't work anymore today, but here we go again. We have a somewhat poorly designed interface from APHP, except that, well, the fake URL isn't an official URL at all. And when you think about it, it's true that nowadays the phishing sites we get every day by email end up 99% of the time in the spam folder. If you send a letter in real life, there's no spam filter, which is impressive. I don't recall if they're put in mailboxes by hand or have stamps, but it must cost much more than an email. That's probably why it's not common. A little bonus. I have one last mini example I wanted to show you. It's an experience that a Swiss subscriber told me about. His story even made it into the press just to show you, actually, I had no idea. But in Switzerland, apparently, everyone uses Twint, a payment app for daily purchases that works by scanning a QR code. You get what I mean? At his high school, there was a student who had fun sticking a fake QR code over the QR code at the cafeteria cash registers, and he supposedly diverted tens of thousands of Swiss francs. As you can see, there are many use cases and people are quite creative. If you like this mini investigation, click the button below the video. It helps boost it. It's the new feature that YouTube released and it really helps creators a lot. I have no idea if this scam will develop over the years, but there were still quite a few reports in the form that I made. So it's not common, but it does exist, and I hope this video will make you pay attention. You should always check if the URL of a site you're on is an official URL. Don't think that scammers can't be in the same city as you. This was Awen. Bye.